Hello. Hello, dear student. Please confirm whether my voice is audible or not. Hello. Hello, dear student. Please confirm whether my voice is audible or not. Yes, everything is okay. So let's start. Dear student, very good morning to all of you. Hope you all are doing well and अच्छे से हैं, and I hope I'm also wishing that today is going to be best day of your life. So dear student, today we are going to discuss about 6th. Today we are going to discuss 6th August the Hindu newspaper analysis. So our discussion main intention is to find which article is relevant for our examination, and if it is important for examination, then which part of the examination, whether it is prelims, mains, or interview. If it is prelims, then what kind of question they can ask. If it is mains, then what where we are going to use, whether it is on GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, or conclusion body data. So this is what our discussion main objective. We'll find each and every article how it is relevant for our examination. If it is relevant, then which part of this examination, and we will try to maximize the utilization of this newspaper in a very short span of time. And I'm going to discuss this video for 45 minutes. Plus, please read this newspaper for 45 minutes, and please practice. I'm going to give you 10 to 15 tasks during the newspaper discussion. I'm going to give you 10 to 15 tasks. You have to religiously follow that and complete that. Okay, by the if you are following that religiously, it is my promise you'll get 20 to 30 marks extra in your prelims and 80 plus marks in the main. So that is what I've been follow very religiously, and all my attempt I'm also getting good marks in my all my attempt also. So that is the reason I'm recommending you all. Okay. So first, how you can get this PDF? You can scan this QR code to join our application. From there, you can get this PDF. The next is those who are using iOS and iPad. So this question, so you can, those who are having iOS and iPad, you can download the Class Plus application and use org code as PKR Major to get this PDF. ठीक है, चलिए शुरू करते हैं. So flash flood in Uttarakhand, leave 4 dead and 60 fear trapped. So what do you mean by flash flood? So flash flood means whenever too much of rainfall happen in a very short span of time. So that is what called flash. I think you know about flash. So there is a light in your camera, mobile camera. So it is whenever you are clicking a photo, just go and out. That is what called flash in a short span of time. So why Uttarakhand is prone to this flash flood? Because if you look into Uttarakhand, so you'll find that Uttarakhand. Let's say this is the India. It's a Himalayan mountain. So three range of Himalayan mountains. So height is like that, na? So whenever cloud, let's say this is the mountain. If cloud bearing, wind having too much of moisture is coming here, it will simply pull upside. If it is pull upside, then it will causing heavy rainfall on the windward side, and after that as it descent, so less rainfall on the leeward side. So that is the reason, being the mountain side, or you can say the windward side of the Himalaya, so the Uttarakhand is very much prone to the flash flood, okay, and landslide. So whenever you are talking about flash flood, landslide, disaster management, so you have to talk about all these things. And if the question is asked which region of India is most prone to the flash flood, so you have to always say that it is on the windward side of mountain, windward side of mountain. Okay, so this is what very much important for our examination. Apart from that, you can know, number of death. I don't think it's much important because these are factual information. Okay, so you have to understand, this. If you study about this region, you'll understand this region are very much prone to the ecological disaster. Okay, so many fewer washed away after Khirganga River swept through the Dhauli, Uttarakasi district. Heavy losses of life, property, fear. 9 army personnel missing. So you can see about so many people are innocent people are dying in this region because we are undergoing construction or developmental activity beyond the limit of this region, and this region are very much prone to all sort of disaster. So next is India and Philippine ties elevated to strategic partnership. So first, whenever any international relation you are looking, first you will see in the map where Philippines is located. Okay, so if you look into the map, so you'll find that Philippines is located here. Yes, yes, this is the Philippines. So you can see here, Philippines is a big, it's a archipelago having dispute with the South China Sea. Here it is South China Sea. Then West Philippines is Spratly Island. This is a disputed territory between China and the Philippines also. Okay. So first you have to map the location and why India is promoting strategic relationship with Philippines. This is what very important, because we know that China is creating a lot of irritation in our neighboring, our neighborhood by supporting Pakistan, supporting Nepal, other countries. So we also want to leverage this strategy, because Philippines is also having conflict with the China. If we can support in their naval strengthening, like we are selling the the BrahMos missile, we can also sell our destroyer, or the patrolling boat, so that their army, their military, their navy can be very strong, and that can act as a deterrence from the China, and we can contain China in the South China Sea. Will not let the China to enter into the Indian Ocean and create trouble for us. So the best strategy to contain anyone is to contain in their home. So that is the reason, if China is creating trouble for us, we have to be strengthen our partnership in the West Asia, so that China will be involved there. The more involved they will involve there, they will not be able to create any disturbances in Indian Ocean region. So India and Philippines have decided to boost their defense and maritime link, began direct flight, and start negotiating a new trade deal as they upgraded their ties to the level of strategic partnership. So welcoming the recently the Philippine president is also visiting India. So both country for freedom of navigation. So we all are, India support the freedom of navigation in South China Sea, because China is claiming that entire South China Sea, this entire South China Sea, you can see about here, given here, is claimed by China by using so-called nine dash line. And according to that, it is saying that it is having completely control over the movement of the the ship and overflight. But according to the international law, the global commons, there should not be any restriction on movement of the freight and flight. Okay? So as both countries support the freedom of navigation, cooperation in maritime domains, and natural and essential, two sides also announced the commencement of talk for a preferential trade agreement. We are also talking about preferential trade agreement. Preferential trade agreement means, slashing or reducing the tariff in our trading. For example, let's say we are importing the let's say the oil, or you can say the palm oil from the Indonesia, other item, agricultural item, and coal also we are importing, and we are exporting something. So both sides reduce the tariff. So we have been consistently working together in area of humanitarian assistance. Yes, whenever there is a I think past 1 or 2 years there is a severe disaster, I think flood or cyclone, so India provided assistance there. So humanitarian disaster relief, and search and rescue operation, we are cooperating with one another. President visit to India, three naval ships, and very first time participating in naval exercise in Philippines. So that means during the Philippine president visit to India, our naval forces also doing exercise in the Philippines. So India's hydrographic ships is part of the important engagement. So we have also sent our hydrographics ship, so to study their hydrography. Basic aim is to understand the South China Sea, depth of the South China Sea, and map the bottom topography of South China Sea. That is what very much helpful in future for deployment of any submarine if you want to deploy. Okay. So next you can see the flooding is causing severe problem in Uttar Pradesh, Prayagraj. So you can see the nature fury. So the protest to restore the special status, Jammu parties amid protest against the Article 370 abrogation. So you know that the central government or union government abrogated the Article 370, and created the Jammu into separated Jammu into two union territory, and in Supreme Court also uphold the abrogation with condition that as soon as possible, union government need to create a separate state for the Jammu and Kashmir. But that is not yet being created. That is the reason people are protesting, and they also demanding the restore of the special category status to the Jammu. Okay? So just have a fair amount of idea, so that you are quite aware of what is going on. In top court, center reject any move to lower the age of consent. So what is that? I'm just going to give you a brief about it. Just listen carefully. So according to POXO Act, according to POXO Act, so if anyone below the age of 18 is called a children. If let's say two young adolescent as between 16 to 18, if they enter into sexual relationship, here both are kids, but both are also below the age of 18. So in that case, there might be severe penalty for them. So if we invoke the POXO Act, so ultimately, if we invoke the you can say about POCSO Act, so that might lead to the severe penalty, and at the end, their career might be end. So that is the reason Supreme Court is asking about opinion whether we should reduce the age of consent. And as per the lawyer Indra Joyce, who has been argued before the court that consensual sexual activity between the adolescent age 16 to 18 should not be criminalized or classified as a abuse under the protection of sexual offense, protection of children from sexual offense or POCSO Act. But union government is saying if we reduce this age from the consent age from 18 to 16, so that might use as an excuse for promotion of child trafficking. Okay, so that is what the center argument. So union government objected before the union Supreme Court to any such move to reduce age of consent under the child protection law from 18 to 16 year, warning such a change could open the floodgate to trafficking and other form of child abuse under the garb of the consent. So might be that might promoting a child trafficking also. So that is what the opinion. So here one more term is given, so that is what called amicus curiae. So what is the meaning of amicus curiae? So you have to study that. Amicus curiae means friend of the court. Amicus curiae means friend of the court. Whenever court want some technical detail, want some detailed study, and at that time court can appoint any particular advocate or any particular lawyer as a amicus curiae, and the advocate go in detail about all this issue and then provide or simplify the issue and present before the Supreme Court. So according to that they can take the decision. So you have to know about amicus curiae. So next is study by IISc research reveal how reward boost attention in humans. So it's a good thing, like whenever we are seeing something reward, we have more attention towards that. So why it is relevant for you people? So you are relevant. That is the reason I am just saying you have to be study the PYQ. So whenever you see the PIQ and the topic, let's say आपने देखे कि DPSP and DPSP they're asking multiple question. First you have seen in your PYQ, then only whenever you study about DPSP you will have high attention because you know that from there multiple question is coming. So that is the reason if you just modify a little bit your pattern of study, you can get lot of benefit from it. Okay, so it is also very much important for your, if you are doing some management, if you are leader, if you are doing some business, if you are after posting into service, so you have to be ensured those who are doing good work, you have to reward them, and you should not reward everyone equally. Okay, study by the IISc, Indian Institute of Science and Research, Bangalore research reveal how reward boost attention in humans. Okay, so next is amid protest over the special intensive revision Lok Sabha pass bill for ST quota in Goa Assembly. Okay, so there is a protest that has been going on in the Lok Sabha for against the implementation of SIR, but within that the Lok Sabha also passed the ST bill. So after cases of drinking water poison, SOP issue for Karnataka school headmaster. So recently there is a allegation that some people are simply poisoning the water sources within the school, so that this can be an opportunity if students fall ill or die, some kids, so they can be used this as an opportunity to transfer one Muslim headmaster. So that is what you can see, how people are falling sick. They are going such a low level. How can they think about it? So after that, Karnataka government issue a SOP so that anyone try to deal create such problem, they have to deal very hard. Okay. Then Maharashtra to approach Supreme Court to bring back Kolhapur elephant. So recently, a elephant that is being being transferred from the Kolhapur to Bantara Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, but people are protesting and demanding that the elephant should be brought back to the Kolhapur. They believe that the PETA, that is PETA, has misled the government and court and will prove their fraud in coming days. So we'll have no other option but to file a petition in apex court. The state government role to crucial. Okay, so you can see here. So they have filed a review petition Supreme Court to bring back 36-year-old elephant Mahadevi, popularly known as Madhuri, from NGO Bantara Wildlife Rehabilitation Facility in Jamnagar. So you have to know about Bantara. It is quite in news because of I think it's quite in news. So they can ask about already in OPSC or the state PCS exam. They have already asked. So Bantara is a brainchild of Ananta Avani, son of Mukesh Ambani. So it's actually wildlife rehabilitation facility in Jamnagar, Gujarat. Okay. चलिए, so next is fake Assam doctor who performed over 50 C-section arrested, has been practicing since 2016. So this is not an isolated incident. in India, you can find so many quacks. Like when those who don't have experience in the medical field, they are practicing doctor. Like they are practicing and doing surgery also. So you can understand what kind of problem people going to suffer. So several fake doctors and quacks. So quacks means fake doctor have been arrested since January after constitution of an anti-quackery and vigilance cell that work with the police. So, dear student, you can join our mentorship program. So, it's year-long mentorship program. You will get very, quality mentorship by those who have already faced multiple UPSC interview and experience at a very nominal price. You can scan this QR code to join it. Chaliye. Next is temperature set. Sorry, Japan temperature set record Ori mount. So, just I am just giving you the brief about it. Why? Recently we are even seeing the temperature in Japan is rising very fast. So if temperature are rising very fast, it is quite going to damage the snow peak mountain. If snow peak mountain is damaged, then snow will not available, snow melt will not available during summer. So when there is no snow, so there will be shortage of the water also. If temperature is increase, that is also increase the pest, disease, drought. So that led to the decline in the yield of the rice. Japanese is one of the country having highest number of elderly population. With a rising temperature, they are more vulnerable for death, disease, so all sort of problem. So that means it is very much clear that climate change is real and we are facing existential crisis. So there is a very good quote: there is no emergency than the climate emergency. So you can see even Japan, the temperature is 41.8 degrees Celsius in August. Okay? August 5th of August. So that means we have to act very fast and time is very limiting. Otherwise, we will see severe devastation. So next is defects to win. Science is said to be overwhelmed by the fraud paper. So that means recently we are seeing, instead of people doing the proper research and conducting their quality research, they are using fraudulent means to get their paper published. So because of that, ultimately the quality of publish, the quality of research is depleting, and those who are hardworking, they are not getting reward, and those who are fraud, they are getting rewards. So that is what you need to study. No need to go in detail. So that is what called plagiarism. This is called plagiarism. So without independent, coordinated, and a better funded system to detect, investigate, and punish misconduct, science risks being shaped by those who see bad faith behavior as most rational path forward. According to major study that drew multiple data source and analytical tools. So team identify individuals whose pattern of acceptance could not be explained by chance. These editor may many of whom also publish each other work from tightly cluster that despite making less than 1% of the all editor were implicated in most problematic articles. So that means quality of funding, quality of research paper that they are publishing is declining because of system is not designed to act as a checks, and those who are publishing research paper by doing copy paste from other papers, so they are getting reward. So there is lack of motivation. If that system persists for a long, so it might be led to the collapse of the entire system. So India are lucky to have steady growth at transformative time. So currently at the international level, we are facing so many troubles. So be that geopolitics means international level में Ukraine and Russian conflict, or you can say about the West Asian crisis, still Indian economy is growing. Then next is geo-economics. So now we can see about the tariff war that is going on. Then geotechnology, so like technological warfare, technological changes like dominance on the AI, machine learning is also going on. So while impacting business globally, but during that time, India is a bright spot and we are growing very rapidly, which is momentum, which is a good thing for us also. The service PMI stood at 11-month high July on strong demand. So next is Australia to buy advanced warship from Japan. Then question is why it is important for us. It is important because we all both are member of the Quad, and we all, Japan, Australia, India, USA want to contain the China. If there is a strengthening of naval power in the Australia, so that can be good for India also, because they can act a deterrent for the Chinese to patrol this region. It is also somewhat it's also negatively impact India also, because if more powerful Australia is emerged, so that might not look like threat currently, but in future that might be a threat to us also. Okay, so so, while as a Japan's biggest defense export deal since the Second World War, Australia will pay 6 billion over the next 10 years to acquire the fleet of stealth frigates. So, Australia is amid of major military restructuring, bolstering its naval and long-range firepower in an effective deter the China. This is striving expand its fleet to major warships from 11 to 26 next decade. Okay, so that means China, Australia is planning to expand its naval footprint, expand its naval ships, so that that can act as a deterrent to the Chinese naval power. So dear student, you can join our Telegram. So you can interact with me. You can ask your doubts. Okay. So DBT helped deactivate 4.8 lakh fake inactive LPG connection. This is what said by our the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. So it is very much important. You can use this data as an information to talk about how digital India, how LPG DBT is helpful to support the direct transfer of the benefit of the cash. Okay? So direct benefit transfer of center under the domestic cooking gas subsidies paid into the bank account of the consumer have blocked, suspend and deactivate 4 crore duplicate fake non-existential account. Just imagine if you are paying 1000 rupees to this 4 crore, so it is around 4 4,000 crore you are saving. Okay? So DBT or PHL scheme is played crucial role in identifying, blocking ghost account, multiple account, inactive LPG connection, thus curbing diversion of LPG for commercial use. Okay? So you can use this data to support your argument. Okay? So next is USA trade deficit with 9 countries higher than India, that of the India. So you can see here. So the Canada and China is having highest trade deficit with USA. So USA's levy third highest tariff in India on the top 10 countries. Okay? So Donald Trump imposed 25% of tariff on India. Only 2 countries that is being imposed higher tariff is China and Canada. Okay, so USA had 49.5 billion trade deficit with India 2024, 10th highest among all trading partners. However, USA's levy 25% plus penalties on import from the India, third highest among the countries. So though there are a lot of countries having more trade deficit, but India is the third largest that is being imposed. So you can here see the countries with highest trade deficit, and here it is trade deficit, and here it is tariff they imposed. So there are a lot of country having more trade deficit in India. Still India is the highest tariff that is being imposed by the Donald Trump. So you can see here. So India's purchase of the oil from the Russia, Donald Trump on Monday said that they don't care how many Donald Trump said that India is not much caring about how much how many number of people are killed in the Ukraine. They're simply buying Russian oil to profit and funding the war machinery in Russia. So EU was largest buyer of the Russian. This is what said by the India. What are the double standard that is being followed by European Union and USA? So EU was largest buyer of Russian liquefied natural gas, account 51% of the Russian export this product. So followed by Japan, followed by China and Japan. Okay, even just in the European Union and USA, they are imposing sanction on India. On the other hand, they themselves are involved in the purchase of the you can say LNG. Okay, China brought 47% of crude export during the period, followed by India and European Union and Turkey. So despite China is also buying huge amount of crude oil, so they don't face any tariff from the USA. So that is what said by the India also. So a DMK MP urged India to take lead role in Geneva plastic talk. So ahead of the plastic treaty negotiation, which is begin in the Geneva, so India is so this MP is talking about we need to be leading role to ensure that there should be complete phase out of the plastic, and the sector that cannot be phased out, or very essential sector, we need to ensure that it should be properly disposed. So inter-parliamentary coalition to end the plastic. This is a collective parliamentarian of 30 countries who are pushing for stronger action from the members on the state addressing plastic pollution. So they can ask about a very good question, inter-parliamentary coalitions to end the plastic pollution. So how many members are there? What are their objective? So you have to study. So their proposition does not necessarily convey with their country's current stand at the plastic treaty negotiation, formally called as International Negotiation Committee meeting. So in 2022, UN General Assembly adopted a mandate to create world first plastic treaty. So with 190 countries been negotiating a way to end the dependence on the plastic and elimination of plastic. So we are planning to start a plastic treaty. So plastic treaty that basically aim to control the plastic. Okay. So Ayush Minister and FSSI released list of Ayurveda uh, ahar food. So this list contain authentic Ayurveda food that is being manufactured. So Ayurveda ahar refer to the food developed according to the Ayurveda dietary guideline, focusing on the balance, seasonal sustainability, natural ingredient, herbs with therapeutic benefits. With rising public interest, preventive health, and sustainable life, Ayurveda ahar is viewed as a trusted nutrition choice that combines traditional with modern dietary habit. This is what released. This is what said by the ministry. Okay. So next, UPSC plan to send recruitment alert to the institution via mail. So the Union Public Service Commission, they are planning to send the recruitment alert to the different educational institute, so that more people are aware about what kind of posting or what kind of post are being recruited by the UPSC, so that more talented pool can recruit to the UPSC. So top quote to here, plea on Jammu and Kashmir statehood non-restoration. So we know that, so the Supreme Court on Thursday agree on August 8 applications questioning the non-restoration of the statehood to Jammu and Kashmir despite assurance made on the behalf of the center to the court. Okay. So in 2023 judgment upholding the abrogation of Article 370 and merely accepted of the center to restore the statehood to the Jammu Kashmir. So Supreme Court said that while upholding the abrogation of Article 370, said that it is the responsibility of the government to form the state as soon as possible. But after that state is not yet created. That is the reason they are filing a FIL to ensure that creation of the state in Jammu and Kashmir. So government can issue national ID to citizens. So if you look, the Lok Sabha recently informed that the Citizenship Act 1955 provide the union government should compulsorily register every citizen of India and issue national identity card to them. So the Ministry of Home Affairs reporting to a question about Trinamool. So Union Ministry of State Home written reply said that particular citizen are entering national register of citizens. So no need to know about that, but if you know about, there is a law called National Citizenship Act 1955, and according to that, central government can force everyone. It is responsibility, or it can say the power to ensure that everyone should register and national identity card can be issued to these people. So officers who are honest must be protected. This is what said by the Supreme Court. So if you look into the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988, so it is clearly stating that there is a called prior approval. So prior approval is given before starting of any investigation and conviction of any bureaucrat. So this provision is given to protect the honest officer. But what happening recently, so this provision has been misused. Those who are honest, so they have been given punishment, and those who are corrupt and politician protect them. So Supreme Court on Thursday provision in the Prevention of Corruption Act that mandate prior sanction before prosecuting public servant are served to protect the honest bureaucrat from becoming victim of political vendetta after regime change. Let's say X party is in power, and the let's say at that time A is a IS officer doing excellent work. So, but after the change in political party, let's say Y is now the chief minister, Y party chief government. So they might take any revenge action. So this article is given for protection. So section 17A of the Act bar any inquiry or inquiry investigation against the public servant for recommendation made during the official duty without approval from the competent authority. Honest officers who do not toe to the line after change in government will be protected. So that means if there is a change in government, those who have honested and those who have given the protection also given protection after the change of the government. So this is what called prior approval under the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988. Okay. So dear student, you can join our prelims test series. Okay. So next is India may change stance amid USA tariff and European Union sanction over the Russian oil. So what happened? I'm just giving you a crux of it. So both the USA and European Union, they want to impose sanction on India on the ground that we are buying huge amount of oil from the Russia, and Russia use this oil as a this oil is used to fund its war effort in the Ukraine. But at the same time, USA and European Union, they themselves depends on the Russia for their trade. So this is what called clear double standard. So when they themselves are depend on the trade, that too non-essential item that they can easily cut through. But India is depending on, because we don't have any option. So before USA imposed sanction on Russia and asked India to not to buy oil from the Iran. Then from Venezuela. Now from Russia. That means USA policy is creating trouble for India, and now it is saying that it should not buy oil from the Russia. But being a country, we need to concern about our own people, our welfare of own people, because we are importing 85% of oil. So we should not listen. We should care about our national interest, and that is what the position India is taking. Okay? And if you look into USA and European Union funding the arming the Israel war in Gaza, that is killing 60,000 people. So where is the human right? Where is the the talking about the protection of people? And at the same time, China is the biggest buyer of the oil, but they are not punishing the China also. So that is what said by the India. So Kartavya Bhavan official flag, lack of privacy in the office. So recently, government is constructing new central secretariat building, that is what called Kartavya Bhavan. So in that there is a hall. In that hall, everyone will sit there. So government function with privacy. So if everyone is sitting there, so there is high chances of breach of privacy. And there is also the under secretary. The role of under secretary is to you know basically to deals with all the confidential information. If the under secretary also sitting in the open, so the telephonic conversation can easily known to everyone, so that might violate the privacy, secrecy, or the strategic nature of this decision making. So that is what they are saying, they are complaining. Okay. So India Philippine now strategic partnership, already we have discussed, just studied. So this is part of the Act East India. Uh, uh, so India is talking about we remain committed to the peace, security, and prosperity rule-based international Indo-Pacific region. That means China is trying to revise the power and project the power and try to dominate this region. So that is the reason we are saying. So important partner in Act East policy. I'm happy to share this. This is what said by our Prime Minister. Okay. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So Trump said that he will hike tariff on India over next 24 hours. So Donald Trump putting pressure on India to get concession or forcing India to sign a trade deal. So first he imposed 25% tariff, and now it is threatening that because it is having trade relation and with Russia, we are buying huge amount of oil, we are buying the weapons also. So Donald Trump tried to threat India to force sign a trade deal. Okay. So next is USA is exerting illegal trade pressure on India. This is what said by the Russia. So Russia come out in support of India, saying that Donald Trump is putting huge pressure just to get favorable benefit from India. Okay? And Russia is also talking about being a sovereign country. There should not be, you can just, I'm just reading it out, you can listen it. Russia accused United States on Thursday exerting illegal trade pressure on India after the US President Donald Trump threatened again rise in the tariff on India on its purchase of Russia oil. We hear many statements are there fact that attempt to force country to cut their trade relations with Russia. We do not consider such statement be legal. So we believe that sovereign countries should have and do their right to choose their own trading partners. Yes, each and every sovereign country, they should have their own right. You can see about the USA also. USA is also flip flop, and they have changed their stand on the Pakistan. They are coming forward to support a military regime in the Pakistan. So that is what India is also have to act as for its national interest. Okay. चलिए, so this is a very good article. So just you need to know about necropolitics, who is allowed to live and who may die. So necropolitics is a new theory that is being emerged. Government systematically they identify people on the basis of some are marginalized, some are very good people. So they allow some people to die without taking any actions. For example, you can see the migrant workers. So we simply put all these migrant worker in a camp in a very bad condition. So whenever any disaster, any problem comes, they will simply die. So this article is just read it, not much important. But if this idea, they can ask anything sometime in society, sometime in prelims also they ask about what is necropolitics. So this is very important. So you can see here, necropolitics is a theory that examine how modern nation state determine whose life are disposable. Disposable means whose life can be easily die, whose people can be replaced or died easily, maybe sacrifice in the name of security, threat, or political control. So so necropolitics is use of political power to determine who is allowed to live and who is made to die. It describes how state and institution manage death by exposing certain populations such as refugee, poor, and racial community, or violence, abandonment, or structural neglect. So you can see about role of the USA. So USA now letting the Israel to attack the Palestinian population, and they are letting the die. So that is what called necropolitics, ne? Okay. So you can read it for your understanding. That is going to be helpful a lot. Actually, आगे बढ़ते हैं. So how should money is laundered be tackled? So what do you mean by money laundering? Money laundering is a process of converting illegal money. Let's say you are generating huge amount of illegal money by drug trafficking, human trafficking, alcohol trading, or illegal cultivation of ganja, or extortion, or criminal activity. If you are generating that money, that means your money is illegal. The process of converting this illegal money into legal is called money laundering. And how we can convert this, like there are three layer of converting this illegal money to legal money. That is called PLI. First one is placing. So this money, illegal money, we have to place in the bank account, or bank account on some formal channel in a small amount. Let's say you have 100 crore, so you can distribute that 100 crore into 10 lakh into 1000 account. So that means you have put everything in a bank account. And then is layering. Placement के बाद आती है layering. In that, we just simply do some complex transaction from bank to security market, from security market to agricultural land, land to Bitcoin. So just like we have to do multiple transactions, so that it is very difficult for the authority to trace the origin. So placing, layering, then integration. After that, the money will enter into the formal channel, as if it is looking like this money you have derived from the legal source. For example, you have to invest in the agriculture, and later on you can show that from agriculture you have get this much of profit, and there is no tax in the agriculture. So this is the process of money laundering. But how we can tackle that? To tackle the money laundering, we need to have stringent law. We need to promote the formalization of economy. We need to ensure international level of collaboration. Okay? We need to ensure there should be a greater use of technology to identify the way they are misusing the financial system. And recently, I think you all know, in bank they are doing KYC, know your customer norms. So this is an initiative to ensure that money laundering can be tackled very fast. Okay, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So next is Bihar electoral roll after the SIR. So concerning trend, so preliminary analysis hint that higher voter deletion in Muslim majority district, and possibly high out migration area. So that means the deletion of name that is found in the SIR, mostly Muslim dominated area and high migrated area. So just read it. I've already highlighted so that you can understand better. So this article is talking about, now we are on the 80th year of Hiroshima bombing. So the horror of bombing is still haunting the people. We know that how many people have been died. Okay, so this we are trying to avoid this horror at any cost. But now recently we have seen in different instances they are on the brink of one more nuclear war. So like Israel and Iran war, then India Pakistan war, then you can say the Russia and Ukraine war also. So that is what making the nuclear threat once again. So at the international level, we have signed so many treaty to prevent the nuclear proliferation. One is non-proliferation treaty. So dear student, you have to study about NPT. Then next is CTBT, Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty, Prohibition Nuclear Weapon Treaty. Though we have a lot of treaty we have signed, still there is a threat is looming. So 8 years after the nuclear weapon is used in anger, we are in danger of slipping into complacency of nuclear use. It took miscalculation, American thermonuclear test for the truth about the nuclear fallout to become widely understood. We know that how it is impact. So we should prevent at any cost. There should not be any nuclear war. ठीक है, justice delay yet again. So two incident recently coming into light. One is about Malegaon blast. Another is about the Mumbai terror, the train blast, Mumbai terror blast in the local trains. Both the cases both the accused have been acquitted by the court on the charges of lack of proper evidence. So here there is a clear indications that in our investigation system are very obsolete. They are not in tune with the need for proper doing the investigation in a thorough professional way. So two recent verdicts speak poorly state of investigating agency. So this is a high time we need to invest in technology. We need to invest in our training. We need to sensitize how they should handle, and most importantly, we need to avoid the use of torture as a method of the extraction of confession. Because at this moment they can give confession, but at the court they can turn hostile. In that case, there is no other option but to acquit the convict person. And we also need to make our all the system politically neutral. So we should not let anyone with political motives should not involve in this activity ना. चलिए नेक्स्ट हम देखते हैं So bullying tactics, already you know that both European Union and USA, they simply bully India to move away, while they themselves hiding their own trouble. Like they themselves involved in substantial trade with the Russia, but they are saying India to stop buying Russian oil. So just to get some concession, because we are negotiating free trade agreement with both this country. So dangerous turn. Trump must stay in course diplomacy to end the Ukraine war. So recently there is a dangerous trend being emerged on the nuclear race. So, for example, the Donald Trump recently dispatched the nuclear submarine in the, undisclosed location. So, on backdrop of that, even Russia is given threat. We are also ready. So that means when the international superpower, when they are talking anything, they should be behave in a very responsible way. Post Cold War, we have seen nuclear threat, or you can say the number of nuclear weapon is declining very fast. The gain we have achieved should not be let go. Rather, both the power need to be behave in responsible way, because any miscalculation can lead to be very disastrous consequences. Okay. So India presents amid broken templates of geopolitics. So I think you know that. So after the Galvan Valley classes, so we are improving our relations with the USA particularly, and to counter the China. But now, after coming of Donald Trump and European Union, their behavior actually quite creating quite trouble for the India. So, and you can see about the Operation Sindoor, how Operation Sindoor helpful for China to increase its influence in the Pakistan also. And recently, the action of the USA to change the Sheikh Hasina government led to the further inroad of Chinese interest in the Indian neighborhood country. So we can say, so this create lot of trouble for India. And we have to be very navigate in this complex situation. We cannot rely on this power. So USA or European Union, we have to rely on this multipolarity world order. We have to be establish the institution, like we need to strengthen the SEO BRICS. We need to follow the strategic autonomy is the best strategy at this moment of time. So this article is only talking about this aspect. So next is technological calculus of Indian welfare state. So just read it out. So it's talking about how technology. Okay. So dear student, this is all about 6th August, the Hindu newspaper analysis. So dear student, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and please share this video with your friends, so that maximum number of students can get benefit from it. Chaliye, dear student, I'll have to end here. Take care. Bye bye. Have a good day. Bye.